Hi, this is Gemma Taylor. I'm the Technology Lead for Teacher CPD at the National Science Learning Centre in York. This is the first in a series of videos demonstrating how a piece of software called Scratch can be used to create visually coded computer programs. So today we're looking at Scratch Work Area, how it connects to the offline and online world. I'm going to be using the online version of Scratch, but you can also use the offline version that you can download onto your computer. So I'm going to type in Scratch in Google, and the first thing that comes up is the online version and the community area. So to go to the online version, I click Create, and there's the work area in front of me. I've divided the work area into 6 different areas. To the right over here we've got the script area, and this is where the script is created to put together a program. In the middle we've got the coding area, where the blocks of code are stored, ready to use. At the top we've got the toolbar. On the left here we've got the stage, and this is where the program that you create is going to be played. And then at the bottom here we've got the sprite area, where the sprites are all stored, and on the left this is where the backdrops are edited and stored. To demonstrate how all of those connect, if we take a quick bit of code from the coding area, move 10 steps, double click it, and you can see the work from the script area is transferred to the stage and the sprite moves. We could add a little hello, double click again, he moves 10 steps and then says hello. So let's move to the toolbar, and on the toolbar we have 5 tools for us to use. So the first is the duplicate tool, which looks like a stamp. Basically whatever you press it on will be duplicated. So if I press it down here, I've now got 2 sprites on the page. If I press it onto the code, I can duplicate the code and have the same code running twice. If I want to get rid of the code, I can use the scissors, and what they do is delete. So I can press the scissors and delete a sprite. I can press the scissors and delete some code. Another way of deleting code is you can right click and press delete. And also you can just throw it back into the coding area and it'll get rid of it. So if we look at the grow button here, what that does is it can make your sprite larger if you click on it. And these arrows pointing in, well, they do the opposite, they shrink. So we can make our sprite smaller. We have to click on the sprite. If you click off it, then you lose the function. This last button here is the block help. That's really useful. So if we put a block onto the screen, click help, click on the block, it'll bring up the help screen telling us exactly what the block does and giving us some examples of how we can use it. So down below here, the sprite area, this is storage for our sprites. If we click on the little blue arrow on a sprite, we can rename it. So I'm going to rename this to cat. If I get rid of this screen, I can also add new sprites in this box. So I could choose a sprite from the library, I could create my own, I could upload one that I've got stored on my computer, or I can use my webcam to take a picture. So I'm going to add a new sprite from the library. I'm going to add a polar bear. As you can see in the library there's lots of different options, lots of different themes. It's worthwhile just taking a look at what's on offer. So I'm going to stick with my polar bear, and there we are, I've got 2 sprites now on the page. There we are, sprite 1 and sprite 2. Now it's important to have a look at this little picture in the corner of the script area, because whichever sprite you're working on at the time, there'll be a little picture in the corner. So if I click on my bear, you'll see that that picture in the corner changes to a bear. So these sprites that I've got, they can have different costumes. Just like you or I change our clothes every day, these sprites can change the way that they look. So if I click on my bear and I click on costume, what I can do is I can alter the costume that my bear's wearing. So I've got 2 costumes here, bear 2A and bear 2B. We can make him wave. And on this screen what I can do is I can edit that costume. So it might be I want my bear to stand on a little table. I'm going to fill that. So now I've edited my costume. So now we've got standing bear and bear standing on a little table. And again I can rename this, so I could put this as bear table if I wanted to, just to make sure I knew what it was when I was working with it. If you want to, you can upload a costume from the library, as we've done before, or you can upload one from your computer or use a webcam. You'll notice there's a lot of similarity between what you can do in the different places. So if we look at the backdrops, again what we can do from the library, we can paint our own. I'm going to have a look at the library versions, and I think I'm going to go for other and click on the moon. So I'm going to put my sprites on the moon. Now I can change this backdrop if I want to. So I could add a distant sun if I wanted to. If I made it in a different colour. So there we are. Added a sun. Filled it in yellow. Now you'll notice if I click on this sun on the backdrop, I can't move it, and that's because it's not a sprite, it's a fixed piece of the background. But I can still move my sprites on top of it, so I might want to make my polar bear a little smaller. So we've got a backdrop and we've got sprites on it. Okay, so what happens when you want to save this? Now, if you're in the online version, on the internet, what you can do is you can save it to your computer, so you can download to your computer as a file, you can save it and bring it up again. But what's really nice to do is if you set yourself up with a login, so if I sign out and show you how to do that, what you can do is you can sign in. So if I put in my details, what I've done now is I've logged into my community. So if I go to my stuff, what you'll notice is these are all the files that I have saved in my little archive. So if I go back to my moon experiment, here it is stored online for me to get access to. Now at the top here it says the project's not shared, so that means no one else can see it, it's just for me. But if I press this button, I can launch it into the Scratch community, and that means anyone can find it. Now the clever thing about this is I can access the coding and edit and change what I need to do by pressing this button. So I'll just show you that again. If I want to see the project page where it's stored on the internet, or if I want to see inside, I can see the coding itself. So that's how you can save it to your computer, and you can keep it in the online community. That's all I'm going to do for now in this video. The next video we're going to talk about movement and show you how to make your sprites move on screen.